Hi, it's Colleen Schmidt from Divination Counseling Service here today to present the sign of Libra for July 2021. So if you're a Libra Sun, a Libra Moon, or a Libra Ascendant, you might want to tune in. There could be a message here for you today. Before we begin, I'd like to take a moment for gratitude, thanking you for watching this video, and also thanking all of my subscribers. If you're not a subscriber, please consider becoming one. I'd appreciate it. In the meantime, if you would, like, share, and comment. I'd love to hear from you. So with that said, we're going to be doing, as usual, our Celtic cross. Then I draw 3 cards for clarification. Those cards then create a block. So really what we're doing is a Celtic block using the Rider Waite Deck. When I'm finished, I'll come back to you and we'll run through the asteroids that are also running through the sign of Libra in the month of July 2021. In order to pin those asteroids down, we're going to be using the new moon chart of July 9th, 2021. So with all that said, let's jump in and see what messages the cards have for you, my Libra friends. So we're going to allow, as always, the cards to choose our significator. So just giving it a couple more shuffles. I've been shuffling, but I like to really be thorough. And everyone who does cards knows the way to really purify them is to keep shuffling. I'm just purifying them. And then we'll set up our piles. There's 2. There's 3. So Libra, oh, it feels good. We're going to see what card they've chosen for you as your significator. You got the Ace of Swords. So this month of July is going to be about your ability to start something new. That something will be stressful, won't be easy, but it will be worth it because it could be the seeds to your success. It's a wonderful card to start with. The card that crosses that, though, is that you've been going through a lot of what they refer to as spiritual strength building. And what that means is that there's a lot of spiritual strength that will be built up through everything that you're going through. And apparently you're still going through some things. So this is spiritual strength through prolonged struggle. That's what that card means in an upside down position. Upright, of course, could be a truth-seeking individual, person or professional who is supportive of you, that you may not be close to, could even be female, but is helpful. When it's upside down, it's not about that, any of those things. It's an upside down. It's strictly that your strength, your spiritual strength, is earned through struggle. And this is talking about the struggle. So it's interesting. You have new beginnings, and what crosses them is the stress, the struggle, and how the struggle will help build you up, will build you up. The base of the card reading is that not everything is known. There's a lot going on you don't know. The beauty is this card is also about spiritual help and getting help from the other side, whether it be our guides or another entity that is around us. But this is getting help from them. But it's also about here on this plane, things that could be working on your behalf, but are just not out in the open yet. Things that you could be discovering later. What's passing you is a lot of strength, a lot of stress. Been doing this a while. So there's a lot of stress around you. And this is also what they call the abuse of power card because of all the swords. And you can see that this particular person's holding 3 and there's 2 that are left and those 2 people are walking away. It's also just about the stress. So you've been under a lot of stress through changes. Things are changing and those changes are stressful. And that card is right side up. What crowns you is that decisions are going to be made in your favor that could give you things like promotions. So this could be a promotion at work, but you get more responsibility. If you are applying for mortgages, something where you're gaining responsibility, you will get it. So some things, some really good things are coming to you this month. And that's really great. And it's above the Ace of Swords, so that we know whatever it is requires stress and work, but that you're capable, at least through the eyes of somebody else who helps you get there. That's wonderful. What's before you? Now, this is a card I read differently than other people. I see an increase in income with this card. Now, it is interesting. This is dissatisfaction, even failure with certain things that are going on. You can tell by the look on his face. And that is how I read it. When it is upside down, I've been doing this for decades, and I can tell you that some of my regular clients will verify this. This card always means to me more money on a regular basis, which generally means an increase in your income. That's wonderful. That's what's ahead of you. Now, it is interesting that you're getting some kind of advancement, maybe even a promotion, and it does look like it equals more money. Now, could this be true of all Libras? It's possible. Okay, what you're bringing to the situation. A lot of doubt, a lot of being overwhelmed. Okay, that's what this is. Okay, now it could be a man who says things that gets you to second guess yourself. A man who says things that maybe is upsetting. A man who lies is a possibility. So this is what you're supposed to bring. That's what the card represents, is this position. But it makes me wonder if some of the things that you're not holding on to is an individual who might not be very good for you, whether it be a boss or a significant other. The external circumstances are open for you to take that jump. Opportunities to jump right in with both feet. This is faith. Have faith, particularly when this card is right side up. Upside down, you could be made a fool out of. Right side up, no way. That's awesome. Your fears, your hopes. Well, it's a hope that you'll get the assistance and cooperation you need so that you don't or are not made a fool out of. Looking good there. Looking very, very good, my Libra friends. You're bored right now. You're bored. And I'm going to tell you that when these changes happen, you're going to be impatient. Rome wasn't built in a day. Okay? So you want to be aware of that. Rome was not built in a day. And things do take time. But it's also talking about how you do need these new beginnings because you're bored. So it's telling me a lot about this card reading. So let me pull our 3 clarifying cards for our reading. Okay. They're all majors. So let me read them this way. You're not walking on solid ground right now. That's why you need the change. It's not just about being bored, although that's a huge part of it, but you're also not in a great position. So that change is necessary. Okay. So this ground underneath you is not solid. And it could be, again, because of the man, because that's what it falls next to. The Justice card is telling me that it's been anything but just. That in the case of justice in reverse, there's a sense that decisions are being made that you don't have anything to do with, that you are not happy with, which is another reason why you need to take a new opportunity, because things are not going in a way that have been good for you. But they are coming into being in the month of July, it does look like seeds are sown that will bring you success. But again, this is the beginning of success. This is laying the groundwork for that success. Whereas the Justice card and the Temperance card are just kind of residuals from this card reading of the boredom, of your need for support, and how stressful it's been. This card says, stressful enough that it will push you into that new direction. Yay! Really great outcome, God. I got to tell you, these are card-wise, these are really, they speak a lot. They say a lot, I should say. But the outcome of the cards, quite beautiful with that sun. So the sun does say that all of this will work in your favor, and I do think it means more money on a regular basis. Good for you. Let's see how the asteroids can help even further. So I'm back, and I'm looking at Libra, and right at the Aries point, we get examples of direct hits on things like shortcuts. Okay, so there is an opportunity, I think, for shortcuts here. There's a lot of missing information, and it's so interesting that when I look at the cards, how it can be verified in the asteroids. So one of the first things that jumps out at me is how there's a Sphinx on it, which means that not everything is known, and that totally clarifies what we've seen with the High Priestess at the base of the reading. Okay, we can see that without sun glaring. So we know that that also showed up here. It does talk about how you might want to do some research on internet and checking websites out because it does seem that people are lying. Okay, it's like there's a lot of complaining also going on. And the lies could be connected somehow to the complaints. You're not feeling very social right now. That plays into this card, okay? That you're not feeling very social. You might just be very, very overwhelmed by what's going on. There could be some needs to go to the doctor for some reason. It doesn't really show me an illness, but it does show me something about the body, and I do see a nurse practitioner. So it could be something, a regular routine type of thing. It talks about how people have to do things over again. Like doing things over again is a huge part of what's going on in the month of July for you, Libra. So there's this sense here of also of people don't seem to be connected or motivated unless other people are mean to them. So that plays into that here we go again concept of, remembering back to the way it used to be and then having it like, well, now we have to do this over again. Ay, ay, ay. And that is what you feel like, okay? Watch out for bullies. And by the way, there is their muscle aches does show up. So it isn't just the body. It does show like illnesses with the muscle system, body aches perhaps, or don't overdo it this month because on a physical level, you could suffer body aches, okay? It does talk about how you will solve problems. That's part of what this month is about. It's about solving problems. And I think you're going to get what you need to solve those problems. Of course, you're going to do it through charm. But it does talk about how it's the beginning of something that's really, really complicated. But some of what's involved in this is just for show. And your job will be to kind of decipher it. It also talks about how people are really excited at the beginning of things. But that we all have to be able to kind of restrain ourselves a little bit with our enthusiasm in order to keep that excitement throughout, okay? But I do see a lot of excitement at the beginning of things, or at the very least, having to use a lot of restraint. It's complicated. Things are done like in layers, and there could even be some intrigue with this. The internet could be involved. People don't know when to speak out, and that includes you, Libra. Libra is not one to make waves or to cause confrontation. It's just not how that energy works. But by the same token, there is this idea that if you don't speak out, could be another reason why, oh, here we go again. In other words, it can cause more complications and more problems. But the difficulty is, when do you speak out? When don't you speak out? Because sometimes you could speak out and people will move. But do you have to be mean? I mean, some people don't seem to do anything until they're yelled at. And that's going to show up this month. That is another factor that seems to come into play with all of this astrology. And the whole idea that maybe some people have to bully other people in order to motivate them. You know, this does sound like some professional situations, and that might be what it's related to. I hope that helped with what you're going to be going through this month, because you do have new beginnings, but it will not be easy. And there is a lot to contend with. Though I do think you will do well, it just won't go as fast as you'd like it to. So thank you for watching this video. And if you would, again, like, share, comment. Most of all, be well. Take care of yourselves. And until we meet again, my Libra friend, I wish you only happy